Hello everyone, we got the global patch notes for March 14th, 2025. This is the big Orzekia update. So first up we have Ataraxian Orzekia releasing. The schedule is week 1, it will be the Orzekia monster zones and main quest line, and then week 2 will be the actual boss battle. So upon entering the Orzekia LVRM, you will encounter powerful field boss monsters, and conversely, if your sole purpose is to do the so-called boss run, you can boldly skip all these and challenge the final boss after you fight her knight, Cathawin. So we're starting with the entry. The entry is as before with the Soul Magia. You just go to the 4th dungeon as a selection. Also, when you're in the final garden section of Yolunakia, Vamakeia, and Sikrakeia, you can also choose the new dungeon from these. The main quest, which contains the story of Or, the 4th protagonist of Ataraxian, has been added. Through the Orzekia main quest, Or's whereabouts, which had been a mystery, are finally revealed, and Or's story is connected to the stories of Ba, Sika, and Yoru, which is the other characters for Vaha, Sika, and Yoru dungeons. Do make sure that to note that the Orzekia main quest is connected to Vamakeia, Sikrakeia, the Mountain of Eternal Winter, and Yolunakia. So for a more immersive storytelling experience, they do recommend to finish these main quests before you proceed with the dungeon. That is just if you've not played them, to definitely do that so you don't feel confused. There is also Orzekia daily quests, which is apparently some investigation and subjugations with the investigator Ivor. His location is at the bottom of the stairs of Route, in the Orzekia Elvia realm. They've also added 14 quests for general investigation in the Orzekia region, which we'll get more details on when it comes out. The Orzekia dungeon will exist in a general server and in Elvia, just like the other 3 dungeons. On the regular server, you can do the quests, and on Ataraxian on regular difficulty, and on Elvia realm you can do the field hunting and Ataraxian, and on Elvia difficulty. For the actual boss battle, it is made up of the following areas. You will advance through them while fighting monsters and bosses that appear in the fortresses you have previously explored. Another difference is that in Orzekia, you do not encounter bosses through combination items. If you follow Or's trace and clues deep into the fortress, a powerful leader will be waiting for you at the end. So we have some different areas. The root of Or. This desolate area is covered with thorn trees that seem to mimic Or's deep religious beliefs. Then it goes into the bottom of the orb, an uncontrolled ancient weapon guards the fortress. Then it goes into Or's petals, an area with green leaves and stems and bright flowers in full bloom. Then it goes into Or's vines, where they serve the Black Goddess's remains. And then finally Or's garden, which is the final gate to Orzekia. In the area you encounter the fortress guardian, Cassawin, which after you killing Cassawin will open the path to the final boss. The AP/DP requirements for Orzekia are also released. So we have for the normal difficulty recommended attack power of 300 and DP 380, while the AP for Elvia recommended is 330 and 420. This is a little bit higher than the first 3 dungeons, but overall still pretty solid. The hunting zones, which you enter from the Elvia realm, are comprised of a general hunting ground and the decisive weapons of Spear, Centaur, and Leos. We'll be seeing them in a second. So the monster hunting ground will not receive additional racial damage, so there is no racial damage connected. They're probably considered animals. We have a recommended attack power of 350, recommended DP of 440, and the actual attack power number is 1100 or more, and 700 or more on the DP. So we have the Centaur-like creature, we have a Leos, which is kind of a dog-lion-like, we have a Spearin, which is a floating spearman, and then we also have the Alkita. The main loot of this zone is going to be Debo belts, Debo earrings, Decision of Emptiness, which I'm unsure of is the as a translation, but it's probably the Void Crystals that are coming up a little bit later in the patch notes. Kaffir Stones, Ancient Spirit Powder, Black Stones, Sealed Black Magic Crystals, and Thorn Encrusted Fragments, which is the actual loot. The shop sell price is currently listed as 96,040 silver. Ore's threads all over Orzekia. You can find threads of ore. They are riddles that are left by ore, and you can progress through the main storyline by guessing what these threads mean. Ore's Paradise, which is after you defeat the final boss of Orzekia, you can obtain the special loot, so the typical loot boxes. We have the weekly quest for the Elvia key and the secondary Elvia key, and the first run as well. So we got, as usual, we have 2 different Elvia boxes and 2 different normal boxes. Make sure you don't run the normal boxes if you want to run Elvia, just like it is with the current dungeons. They do have an example with the running it twice with the 2 different characters. Effectively, you have to run it with character 1 on Elvia and then the second one on Elvia if you want this reward box. Well, you can also run 1 on Elvia, 1 on normal, or both on normal. Overall, sadly, we can't read the rewards. I also can't tell if there's a really big special item with it. So we'll have to see if there's a compass piece, merchant ring piece, or something in it. You do get or void crystals by opening the Orzekia items, which is the void crystals are used to upgrade the Akrods and Void Crystal of Destruction. So below the recipe, we've been given the recipe. We have the Void Crystal of Akrod, which is the honorable Akrod with crystals of a Void 30, Magic Lightstone crystals, and Blackstones. Same thing for the Crystal of Empty or of Precise Destruction, which is Crystal Void 30, Magical Lightstones 300, and Blackstones 500. Looking at these stats and comparing it with the current crystal, it is pretty much the same stats, except for another +2 monster AP on each of the crystals. Maybe look out for the prices of these going up, but with the requirement of 30 crystals of void, I think this will be a slow rise, so the market should not be getting too many big ripples. Maybe you can snag a bit of a profit, but don't expect too much. We have some knowledge quests again for 50 and 130 or more, which is again a 70 fail stack and a title, and a 130 fail stack and a title. There's also a reward for the first time player, which is the Talk to the Black Spirit. You're going to get the Ancient Weapon of Ataraxian, which is a manor piece. It actually looks quite nice. Size a little bit hard to tell with the building. It looks quite sizable. It has pretty much 3 the bosses of the final dungeons put in, with a orb at the top. Really nice effects. Hopefully looks good in person. We also have extra title rewards for the main quest completed and also the Elvia clears. Also for the mobs for 5,000, 10,000, and 20,000 kills. And finally the final boss kill. So final blow reward. You will also be getting some challenge rewards for the first ever clear. So again, defeat the final. You will also get one for normal and Elvia difficulty, so you get some extra chest. There is a small return of the call for help heard over Orzekia. So as you wander, you'll be able to find some NPCs with the question mark above a chest. These are these small quests that were all over Land of the Morning Light. These are only once per family. After that, you will never be able to complete these again. So I will be trying to record every single one of them and make sure that I can grab them and maybe compile them at some point. These were a bunch of fun in Land of the Morning Light. If you haven't actually done them on the west side of Land of the Morning Light, I do recommend them. There is some really fun tiny quests in there, and they're actually generally quite simple. In one case, you even get to play fetch with a dog. Then we go into the second big part of the global patch. It is some big buffs for a lot of classes and some slight nerfs for others, so a bit more balancing that's coming. So for the sword, we have some cooldown increases and decreases across a few skills. There is a lot of changes from skills getting super armor to forward guard and forward guard to super armor. This could have a massive effect on your combos. Do watch out for this on the next NAEU patch or the Korean patch, aka double check this. Overall, cooldown reductions are probably always beneficial. It might change up your combo a little bit. Or you might need to change your combo to implement forward guards or remove forward guard skills that used to be super armor. There is also bigger changes for the Nightcrow skill. So they've improved the ability to use it after a jump, as long as the stamina allows it. They've also changed that the Night Raven technique is no longer affected by the jump power increase effect. They've changed the falling speed when using the skill after jumping. And when using the Night Raven technique on the ground, the character will now rotate and move according to the camera direction when the character disappears. Then there's some general damage buffs, at least across most of the skills. PvP damage reduction rate is not being touched in some cases, or even going down a tiny bit. That is a little bit worrisome because a lot of sorts were hitting pretty hard already. Could be interesting, but where they get a lot of gains, there is generally the PvP matching, so it does see mostly a PvE buff. On Awakening, the Nightcrow also got the changes of the Succession. Then we have the Tamer Succession getting some changes. So they've added a forward guard effect to some skills. A stiffness effect was only applied to monsters. Otherwise, they have been gaining some skills where the reduction of magic defense from 15 for 10 seconds is being changed to 30 for 10 seconds. Again, another forward guard being added. Then we have a change from 10 for accuracy change from 10 for 10 seconds to 16 to 10 seconds. The attack power reduction has also been adjusted from 12 to 10, 12 for 10 to 16 for 10. They've also added an effect for extra AP, magic AP plus 16 for 10 seconds after using Stepping on the River skill. When the Earth Lightning skill successfully hits, the amount of defense reduction has also been changed from 20 for 10 to 30 for 10. And when a hit is successful, the 10 defense reduction effect for 10 seconds has been removed for that from the Stab with a Bang. Not sure what skill that is. Effectively, if you want to just look at the picture and try to find it, otherwise wait for the NAEU proper translation. Otherwise, looking across it, there is some damage increases with PvP modifier adjustments coming as well. Overall, it seems more of a PvE increase. Again, Awakening is also getting a change where the reducing defense when a skill successfully hits has been unified. So all defenses is reduced by 30 for 10 seconds on these three skills. Musa Awakening is getting quite a bit of changes. So the attack casting speed reduction effect has been removed from Extreme Teaching, but for that they've added a 20% effect to all damage reductions for 10 seconds. The movement speed reduction effect on successful hit has been removed from another skill, and for that they've changed the improved to smoothly connect on the second form of a chain attack. When an attack is successful from the return, the attack speed reduction effect has been changed from 10% for 5 seconds to 20% for 5 seconds. So instead of getting multiple attack speed reductions, it's going into one stronger version. All attack power increase effects has been changed from 10 to 20 for the Spirit of Warrior. So that is a significant increase. Then we have some damage buffs, again with matching PvP damage reduction rates. However, in some cases, it seems a little bit smaller of a PvP reduction rate, so there might be a net positive on some of these skills. Then we're going to the biggest winner, I think, in this update. It is going to be the Archer. The Archer is having a lot of attack distance changes and movement speed reduction effects being removed. Overall, I think Archers will be needing to look at their kit from the ground up and need to readjust accordingly. So we have a bit of changes across a lot of skills. So here we have the attack distance being reduced on this this skill. The attack range distance and range has been reduced, but for that on another one, it's been increased again. So it also cannot be changed during a cooldown. After an attack, the character will no longer move regardless of camera rotation. There is a forward guard being added, and accordingly, the stiffness effect has been changed to apply only to monsters, and skill damage has been changed to apply the same amount of damage as the Explosion of Radiance skill. Then on the breath control, breath throwing, we have changes that they now share a cooldown. Only one of these skills can be activated at a time. The cooldown has been changed to 5 seconds. The vitality recovery effect has been changed from 300 to 500, and the control keys have been changed to ADC plus C skill. However, when breath control technique cannot be used, it'll switch to the crossbow or tail bow state as before, and accordingly to that, it will activate when you right click with A or D. So overall, big changes for Archer, like I mentioned. Then we have a change for a forward guard effect that is applied up to 2 hits. The first floating has been changed to only apply to monsters again. It cannot be activated during cooldown. And the forward guard effect is not applied after an attack then, and also that the character does rotate according to camera rotation only just before attacking. Again, there's a forward guard change on another skill. Knockback effect on successful hit applies to player only has been removed. So that's a knockback going away. But, well, also the pain damage has been removed. Spirit's Protection, they've changed it that instead of it will use your mana effectively instead of stamina. As a result, stamina will be restored while using the skill. They've also changed again the camera rotation, so mouse movement attacks are being also heavily affected this patch. The observer skill has been changed to only activate with quick slots, so now you can also lock it. They've also changed it that it can be activated in the taking state, the flurry of arrows. They've added a forward guard to that skill. The movement distance has been increased for Meteor Shower, and the effect of recovering mana power when hitting has been removed and changed to affect extra HP per hit for hits. Then we have another change for knockback on Spirit Bullet has been changed to also apply to players. That is to balance out the loss on the other skill. We have an improved transition on the skill, and the burning effect has been removed. All attack power increase on Take Training, going from 10 to 20, so extra AP for the archers. All attack power increase effects have been removed for that from the Path of Light, and the ranged attack power increase effect of the active skill has been changed to an all attack power increase by 20. Movement speed reduction again has been removed. We have a skill cooldown change from 25 seconds to 1 minute 30 seconds on the Radiance Wrapped in Shadows. On the Gust and Extreme Gust, they've changed it that it cannot be activated during cooldown. Stamina is no longer restored throughout the entire movement. After an attack, the character can no longer rotate according to the camera direction. The effect of restoring mana when hitting has been removed. Then when acquiring the Gust skill, the attack judgment changes to penetrating type. The stiffness effect when hitting successfully has been changed to only apply to monsters. They've added a minus 20% movement speed reduction effect for 5 seconds when hitting successfully to balance all these downgrades. There is a change from the super armor to forward guard, and the forward guard to super armor while using the skill. Wait a minute. Okay, I think this is a mistranslation because it changes super armor to forward guard to super armor, or it might be a changed skill, so it starts off with forward guard and goes into super armor. The Black Spirit attack is also getting a change. It will no longer restore mana. Stiffness effect has been changed to only apply to monsters, but they did add a minus 20% movement speed as well for 5 seconds when hitting. Active is also getting a lot of changes, so they uses stamina instead of mana. 2 to 3 hits have been removed. The health recovery effect on successful hit has been removed. The movement distance has been increased. The skill's attack judgment will be changed to penetrating type. According to attack judgment, will occur in the direction of the character regardless of the aim target. And the phenomenon of movement speed being affected has been fixed, and knockdown effect on successful hit has been changed to occur on the first hit. So here we have an example. It's there, the knockback happened at the end, and now it starts with the knockback and does the immediate damage. Root Rise is getting an attack range of surrounding hits and hit damage being integrated. It will be in front of the character. The floating effect on the first hit has been changed to knockdown, so that stamina is not restored until the end of the additional hit action. The kick has been changed so the skill specialization of the rooting skill is activated when a hit is successful. It cannot be used during cooldown. There's a change from a super armor to a forward guard for Light of Extinction. The glide has been changed that it was super armor while moving. Now it will be invincible while using skill and then goes into super armor. The stamina consumption has been doubled for that, and the duration has been increased. The Sharp Scream stamina consumption has been changed from 200 to 100. Same for the Seizing Opportunity. And the damage of the following skills has been adjusted. There is a small note that the damage of Wings Adjustment and Meteor Shower skill decreases during the cooldown period, and the damage for the kick will be changed to be applied as additional hit damage from the Root Climb technique. Overall, there is a small gain on the Wings of Judgment, Meteor Shower, and Wings of Judgment is definitely getting a PvP increase because it goes 45 to 40. Overall, again, damage increases with matching PvP reduction rates, though, across the board. Definitely take a look at Archer if you're an Archer main. It will be a big change. Lahn Awakening is getting some attack speed increase changes. All attacks power increase to a non-return skill. Cooldown changes going up a little bit on a few skills and down on others. So we're getting in general some changes on a bunch of cooldowns on Awakened Lahn. Damage changes are very minimal in the case of Lahn this time. The PvP reduction rate is either staying the same or going up a little bit. Stage Awakening is getting some love, so love and hate, it's a little bit of both. We're getting a stiffness effect applied to monsters. Super armor has been changed to apply when using the skill. There's down smash being removed, and they've changed the air and attack mode. One sec. They've changed the. Oh, what just happened? Sorry. They've changed the stamina consumption of flashing from 200 to 100. The stamina consumed when using it during cooldown has been changed from 250 to 150. There is a massive cooldown reduction on the Agent of Divine Punishment. Accordingly, the skill specialization stage has changed from 3 stages to 2 stages. Overall, Awakened Sage is losing a lot of stamina consumption. There is a bit of a loss on CCs. The float is going to monster only. The stiffness is going to monster only. With Flash Breakthrough or the Black Spirit, it's no longer catches enemies while charging and charges, but instead moves a certain distance. However, if there's an enemy in front of Sage, the attack will activate and stop. The stun effect on successful hits has been changed to a knockback, and that does hit players. There's an improvement on the ability to smoothly transition from one skill to another after the skill. The distance traveled while attacking has been reduced, and they've changed to consume stamina instead of mana. All defense reduction rates have been changed from 20 to 30 for the current chain. Pain damage on successful hit has been removed. For that, they've added a shock effect that reduces all speeds of the target when hit successfully. Power Throw, the time that defensive judgment remains after a dash, has been increased. Then we have another cooldown reduction on Detention, which I think is the grab. Not sure if it had a grab. When using the Power Throw or Flow Overtake, so when using a skill and dashing, the camera will now immediately look behind the opponent, and the damage of the following skills has been changed. So again, we're having some damage increases with appropriate or matching PvP damage reduction rates. Flow Discord being pretty much unified a little bit and broken down. Overall, I think Sage will be a slight winner. At the same time, losing some of those CCs will be a slight issue for some, but the stamina consumption is a lot more friendly. Then we have Awakened Warriors. Sadly, the bigger losses might be due to the hardcore server, but we'll have to see. Overall, slight damage reductions in a few cases. Well, actually, in most cases, with the PvP reduction rate also going down a little bit, but not by as much as it seems to lose in the percentages. Why does it keep going? No, you're supposed to stay on this. Okay, there we go. Then we have hardcore server changes coming. So this is the first iteration of changes for that. There has been some communication about the penalty when defeating players with survival points less than 20% of one's own. This is being adjusted, so it will no longer apply in higher level monster zones and also in the boss spawn areas. The monsters in the Gahaz Bandits and Pilaku areas have been weakened and are waiting for the challenge of adventurers who have found the hardcore server. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, I need to stop pressing that button, I guess. The Black Tabernacle, or the Sudden Death Zone, has been, well, the existing rules that remain are pretty much when a certain number of players gather close together. When it is activated, players inside will be unable to leave, and it will not disappear when at least one player remains alive. You cannot unequip equipment, you cannot change equipment, and the map cannot be used inside the black zone. The escape function cannot be used, and if you abnormally exit the game while inside the area, you will receive a death penalty and be resurrected at a random sanctuary. They are adding the rules that when it is created, you will be moved to a separate space and the battle will proceed. Accordingly, the adventurers outside the black area cannot enter anymore, and if only one person survives, they will be moved back to their original location. The Mysterious Warriors are also being added, so these are the wandering areas. So we have the Pit of Undying mobs making a appearance on the hardcore server. So they will be appearing in the desert or Titium or Crescent with green, blue, and extra survival score points. Then we have the Fadus coming with, again, desert, Titium, Crescent, green, blue, and survival points. Evergart is making an appearance out in the desert, Titium and Crescent, again with green, blue, and survival. Gaha's Bandits and Pilaku has Bennett appearing with blue and yellow grade accessory boxes. Kunga is appearing at Gaha's Bandits and again Pilaku, again blue and yellow. And finally, Gaha's and Pilaku, it's Birdie showing up with blue and yellow grade accessory boxes and also survival score points. The loot that can be obtained from defeating Leighton and Perturum has been changed. So pretty much it is a rare, no, that's the existing. It is being changed that you get a Young Crow selection box, survival points 1000, additional acquisition according to probability. So blue gear, blue grade, and yellow grades. Same thing for Perturum. And yeah, just a better blue grade accessory selection box. So there are accessories. The probability of obtaining equipment boxes from all monsters except ancient weapons has been increased, and they've improved so that the effects are displayed even when obtaining a special buff. Red Battlefield, the staging area for the castle ruins is being changed, so you can now approach the blue lights location in the waiting area to join the battle. The terrain of the ruined castle has been changed. Here we have a small picture. The protection effect received when going out onto the battlefield after being resurrected has been changed from increased evasion and damage reduction to increased damage reduction rate. The silver obtained upon victory and defeat in the red battlefield has been changed to the same amount of gold bars. War of the Roses, they've improved the system to ensure a more even distribution of factions when a guild or alliance participates in the War of Roses multiple times. Then we have a season server inspector school event coming. The benefits are applicable, well, the benefits will be at all times. So the dedicated hot time effect is still 1000% for the permanent increase in combat XP. There is a small thing coming from March 19th to, or 20th for us next week. up to the maintenance of Wednesday, June 11th or 12th, we will be getting another event for when you reach a level 60 character. You can get a challenge box for another pen boss gear. This will be nice for people joining. Do tell your newbies. They will now be able to get two pen armors and be able to get the the other two from Jatina. Also, they will be getting another Patrizio's pocket watch with again the Tet armor set and Kaposha. Why does it keep reverting to that? Okay. They've also added a fishing rod in the Cool Breeze, which is graveable, not repairable, ability to catch multiple fish at once, and it has a max durability of 1000. So you get a free fishing rod that also is like the Grandpa Kron rod or similar. The growth support for Fugar for adventurers new to the seasonal server will also be still available. So the growth support quest that allows you to obtain Essence of Dawn, Black Star weapons, and Karazad accessories can only be completed once per family. That is, I think, more of a reminder for us. Yeah. Then we have some quest and knowledge changes. So for quests that are completed immediately, the quest window in progress tab is improved so that you can check them in the other tab when sorting by type. And information about item combinations has been added to the description of the quest Seize the Opportunity. There is a small UI change for Atarax incoming. The party entry is being changed to general entry and one person entry to story entry. And a phrase related to the time of announcement has been added to the UI where the Castle Lord Guild selects the battle method. And when using the View Equipped Crystals menu in the other character's equipment bag view, it is improved so that it displays based on the current crystal slots unlocked for the currently logged in character. And finally, we have general fixes and changes for the hardcore server where some mobs appeared where they weren't supposed to. And also some changes were in cutscenes, Zerkers would appear awkwardly, or Guardians, just general visual changes, and for the replays. And that actually covers the quite long patch note for March 14th. Overall, quite nice. RBF changes is we'll have to see the map. Hardcore server getting a bit more adjusted, but nothing too crazy, which I kind of like. It seems quite solid with that. Class changes, we have some really big winners this time around. We'll have to see how the archer changes will affect them. Same for the Lahn and the cooldowns. And also the big changes for Sorg on her forward guard and super armor skills being thrown all over the place. That'll be quite a big adjustment. And finally, the Orzekia Dungeon is looking really nice. I'm looking forward to it, even though I might not be able to partake of everything with the requirements being so high. Okay, and with that, thank you, and we'll leave it at that.